Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Money Moves Summit led by Create and Cultivate with our special partnership with Mastercard. I'm Ginger Siegel, and I'm the North America Small Business Lead for Mastercard. And today, we're going to talk a lot about reinvigorating your business beyond the pandemic to once again thrive. So the pandemic has obviously caused so many of you who are business owners so much difficulty, but we're really excited today to be able to share with you some ideas about actually reinvigorating your business both online and offline. And we know with all of the closures due to the pandemic, this has caused a lot of hardship. But we believe very strongly that there's a lot of tools out there to help you with getting your business online and, more importantly, staying online safe. I want to talk for a second about the market landscape. I think it's really important for all of you to know that you are not alone. Many small businesses have faced the prospect of economic fallout. We know particularly with our brick and mortar shops, due to the pandemic, many of you have been forced to close. This has resulted in significant financial loss. But we also know that consumers are very much accelerating their adoption of digital commerce. And when I spend time talking to small business owners, which is a lot, one of the key things we talk about is meeting the consumer where they are. And that's a lot about what we're going to discuss today. So 30 million small businesses in the United States, you are all a very strong force. Small businesses employ 50% of the people in the US, and we know that your survival is critical to the US survival. But we also know that of small businesses in the US, about 76% have been negatively impacted. And the other key fact is that there's been a 209% rise in e-commerce. Yet we know that of all small businesses, there's 30% that are not online today. And we at Mastercard felt it was critical to really help in this area to ensure that a small business could meet their consumers where they are and allow them to purchase goods and services any way they choose. But we know that there, again, has been a very strong impact of COVID, and the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as recent consumer behavior shifts in e-commerce, have really caused long-lasting impact to the US business market. We do not believe that consumers are going to be back the way they were. Their desire to not use cash and checks, their desire to make payments in a more contactless way. And it really is important that for a small business, they think of this in terms of the future and making sure that they digitize as a way to future-proof their business. And so a digitally led approach is very critical to equipping all small business owners with the tools and solutions they need. Yet, when we have talked to many small businesses like you, 64% have told us that it is digitally challenging to manage the business. So we want to make sure that we can put the wind at your backs through our partners to ensure that you have the means to do this. We're also pretty excited about one stat. 70% of small businesses say that they're willing to invest in the technology needed to advance their payment solutions. So even though we have these big winds of change, we also know that many small business owners are ready and willing to take the plunge and do what's needed to digitize their business. So again, I talked before that, the realities of COVID-19 hit businesses and individuals alike. And one of the key things we heard is that there was a strong demand for lower touch options for making and receiving payments. We as an industry knew that 2020, under normal circumstances, was going to be a year where we saw an increase in contactless spending, where consumers, again, didn't want to touch things to pay, didn't want to hand over their card, for example, and wanted to have a way to tap on phone, as an example. Now, COVID-19 has actually accelerated this behavior and made consumer demand shift quicker than anticipated. So when you take a look at global consumers, 46% of global consumers have actually swapped out their top of wallet card for a card that provides contactless functionality. And it's really important as a small business to be aware of that, to understand how your consumers want to pay you so that you're going to be ready and able to accept payments in the way they choose to. And this was very interesting in what I alluded to before, that 74% of consumers said that they will continue using contactless post-pandemic. And we know that we see social distancing. I don't think any of us really know how long it is going to take to move us away from that. But with social distancing, there's going to be continued reliance on alternative points of sale ways to pay. And there's going to be some need to mandate more versatile payment choices and get your businesses ready for tap on phone adoption. Now, the other thing we know is COVID-19 continues to stress small businesses, both financially and operationally. We have seen a very strong shift to turning to digital services, and some very interesting stats that I thought would be important to share with all of you. The majority of small businesses said that speed and security and transparency were their top priorities. Actually, 82% of small businesses say that they've actually changed how their business sends and receives payments, with 51% actually moving their clients to more digital methods. And we also know that online car payments saw the greatest increase at 60%. Now, the other really important area is that 67% of small businesses have actually agreed that one upside to the pandemic is that because it's prompted them to upgrade their digital and e-payment solutions, it actually has improved customer satisfaction levels. And actually 81% of businesses said when they do move to more digital payments, it does improve the satisfaction level of their customers. And then digital is the new normal. Because of positive sentiment and because of the fact that we're seeing this increased customer satisfaction and increased exploration around ways to digitize your business, most small businesses plan to stick with digital business payments even as the pandemic subsides. And I mentioned before that 70% are willing to invest to make the changes needed because they know it's going to be required to keep their businesses viable and, even more important, strong. And 73% actually said that digital payments will be the new normal going forward. So I think all of this is really leading to the fact that if you must make sure your business is digitized, what are the things you need to do to protect yourself? Now, we all know that cyber attacks have been in the news a lot lately. And what's really important, and what many, many small businesses don't realize, is that actually 50% of all cyber attacks happen to small businesses. Yet 80% of small businesses report that they're not actually monitoring cybersecurity threats. They weren't doing this prior to the pandemic, but I think more and more small businesses are understanding that they are increasingly vulnerable to exploitation by bad actors who certainly want to capitalize on a lot of the chaos in the market today. And so we realized that small businesses were looking for partners and advisors to help protect them against the unknown. And they really want partners who can step in and kind of help them understand, how do we predict when these things are going to happen? How do you educate us as small businesses? And how do you guide us to let us know ways to understand when impending threats may come up? And this stat, I think, was really important, is that 81% of small businesses want someone to proactively alert them to shifts in the cybersecurity landscape and really want to understand best practices. So at Mastercard, we took a look at all of these factors, and we knew that there was a need to get businesses digitized, and we knew that they had to do it safely, And we also knew that there had to be a lot of education. And in a minute, I'm going to talk about our Digital Doors program, which all of this information led us to. But I do want to make sure everyone is very clear on how potentially dangerous cyber attacks are. Cyber attacks can have a huge impact on small businesses as well as big businesses. And in fact, on average, the cost of a cyber attack to a small business can be upwards of $200,000. And so the goal here is to do whatever you can to prevent these from happening. The stats are not great, right? 28% of small businesses had experienced some type of a cyber attack just during the last 12 months. 37% had actually suffered a financial loss. These attacks, 25% they've driven to file for bankruptcy, and actually 10% went out of business. So these are critical stats to understand, and I can assure you that there's people that have your back and are looking to help protect you as this threat becomes greater and greater. And I mentioned before the Digital Doors program for small business. Again, if you take a look at all of the issues happening out there, Mastercard wanted to make sure that we could take something and utilize all of the tools and assets that we have to help small businesses. And so what we did is we created the Digital Doors Small Business Platform. Really excited to share this with you because this is something that you can all use immediately. And we've got some fantastic examples of small businesses that have actually used this in order to upgrade the digital capabilities of their business, and more important, utilize some excellent cyber tools to help protect you. So when you enter into the Digital Doors website, and you can find that on Mastercard Digital Doors or Mastercard Main Street Resource Center, here's what you find. When you enter into our Digital Doors, you first will find a digital readiness diagnostic. And what this is, it's a cloud-based rapid assessment that we actually allow you to take this test for free in order to leverage the benchmarking we have to see where your business fits in terms of capabilities. So we have you answer questions around your business strategy, how you make and receive payments, do you have a website? What are the kinds of things you're doing to manage your business during this time from an operational perspective? What are the things that you're doing to actually grow your business from an online perspective? And then one of the most important things is how you're protecting your business. Once you take the test, we provide you with benchmarks and a score so that you can see where you sit. Are you above benchmark or are you below benchmark? And if you're below benchmark in any of these categories, we will actually make recommendations to you. So for example, if we see that you do not have the right cyber protection based on how you answered the questions, then we're going to recommend some cyber tools and how to get them. The other big part of Digital Doors, because we heard from small businesses that they need help in education. In fact, many small businesses told us one of the biggest issues they were having during COVID was actually keeping in touch with customers and, more important, acquiring new customers. So we have digital curriculum that has been built with great partnerships we have with Hello Alice and Squarespace that will actually deliver free content to you on how you digitize your business across certain pillars: social media marketing, how to set up a website, a lot of information on cyber attacks. Linked into Digital Doors is an area called the Trust Center, which is done in conjunction with the Global Cyber Alliance and has some fantastic tools and education to help you understand more about potential cyber attacks. And then something that we're most excited about, we're very lucky to have excellent partners. For example, this partnership with Create and Cultivate is very, very critical to us. We've also brought on other partnerships with Shopify, Squarespace, BigCommerce, and Facebook in order to help you create an online storefront. We also have digital end-to-end tools. A lot of small businesses, in fact, that may not accept cards today. And if they do, how do we help you as a business to accept contactless payments or what's called click to pay, so that you don't have to worry about customers feeling uncomfortable about how they're paying? And it can really help you address your needs around payment and your customers in adapting to the new normal. We also have a fantastic program called Shop Openings. And what this is, it's a free service from our Mastercard data and service team, where if you accept Mastercard, your business goes on to a consumer-facing website where you actually then will have almost like free advertising, where consumers can go on and see if your store is open and if you accept contactless payments. And then all of this is wrapped in two excellent cyber tools: Risk Recon, which will actually help assess the vulnerability of your site, and then ID Theft Protection, which has a monitoring service that will alert you when things look strange within your website under the dark web. And so all of these tools are really built to help you not only assess where your business is, but also provide you with information on how to make the changes that you need to make. Because as I said, we do not believe that these changes are just going to be temporary. So I wanted to show you a little bit about the diagnostic. Again, I mentioned that we have built this. And what happens is you will navigate to the digital diagnostic from the Digital Doors webpage, and you'll create an account. After signing up, you'll enter basic background information on your business and then begin to answer the diagnostic questions. There's not a lot, less than 20, but the diagnostic covers questions, as I mentioned, across a number of different categories so that we can help you assess where you are. And again, this tool is completely free. Now, I mentioned our partnerships. Each one of our partners are actually offering some excellent tools to actually move your business online. And what I would say is that even if you're part of the 70% of businesses that actually are online, you can utilize some of these services to maximize your online presence. We know that one of the key areas that small businesses say they really need help with is search engine optimization. And there's a lot of content in terms of curriculum, as well as what these partners can help you do to ensure that your website can be the most optimal, and that you also have all the right tools that you need to have your business online and get the best capabilities out of it. I mentioned a little bit about our safety and security. And in addition to the tests that you take, we also have in the Trust Center some specific cybersecurity assessments. And I think this is very important to even dig further to understand. And I'm going to tell you in a little bit about someone we worked with and the fact that they were able to uncover from the test that they were not protected as much against cyber, and were able to take advantage of this Mastercard ID theft protection, which I mentioned to you, which now monitors her digital presence, her website, in order to see. And the other piece that I talked about was our Trust Center that's done in conjunction with the Global Cyber Alliance, which is a fantastic outside organization that focuses on how to help small businesses protect themselves. And as you can imagine, of late, they've been extremely busy. But we want to make sure that you have the capabilities to access these tools to protect yourself once you become more digitized. Digging a little bit deeper into the Digital Doors curriculum, there's a lot of different things that we offer on the curriculum. Email marketing tips, how to choose, the right domain, how to build your channel on social. How do you move your business online if you have never had any digital presence? And the other thing that's, I think, really important that I talk to a lot of small businesses about is there's a thought out there that it costs a lot of money and time to develop a website. And with the partnerships that we have with some of these great organizations, you can do a fantastic website with not a lot of lift. And that's what our goal is, to create this platform that brings everything together. I mentioned digital. One of the key things is whether you will be able to accept payments digitally. So there's a lot of different ways to go on this. We know that the first thing is making sure that all of you can accept card payments online, but then taking a look at some of our contactless solutions like Tap and Go and Click to Pay, which are really critical avenues right now and in the future, because we don't see consumers actually going back to the old way. And so you can actually sign up for Click to Pay acceptance capabilities. And if you do not have the capability today to accept cards, you can actually learn how to start accepting digital payments with what we call bank acquirers. And we partner with a lot of them. And all on this site, it will connect you directly to these people. I mentioned shop openings. I wanted you to get a glimpse of how really exciting this is, where let's say you're a store in Brooklyn or a store in Dallas, and you've got customers that frequent you, but they're not sure if you're open, and they can actually locate your business and assess whether or not you are open again. And if you are open, do you accept contactless payments? Because many consumers now are looking at those types of things when they are beginning to get back out as stores begin to reopen. And we're pretty excited about this because we believe this is great advertising for many small businesses, but also offers consumers an opportunity to shop safely where they want to. Now, one of the biggest, I think, hardships that I see with small business is their lack of access to capital and really lack of cash flow. And we know certainly that COVID has made that much more difficult. Some of you have availed yourselves of PPP loans. But one of the important stats that I like to bring up to small businesses is that 70% of small businesses are using a manual invoicing process. So if you think about a plumber that goes to your house, they actually will probably go back to their office, send out a manual, handwritten, even digital invoice, mail it in many cases, and then as the receiver, the customer might pay them in 2 weeks. So we believe that digital invoicing is a big area of improvement, that through the digital diagnostic test, we will actually refer you to a pilot partner solution that you can sign up on through Digital Doors to help you with a digital invoicing process. So you no longer have to send out manual invoicing. And again, we think the two main things are very important for small businesses. We know that small businesses don't have a lot of resources and that you have to save a lot of time. And we also know that you want to get paid faster. Access to capital is not just about borrowing from others, although that's one way, but it's also how do we help you have faster access to your own earnings at a time when you need it the most. And we're pretty excited. On Digital Doors, you can actually try out this invoicing service free for the first 3 months. So strongly encourage all of you. And this is something that you would also pick up on our digital diagnostic test. So I wanted to highlight a Digital Doors success story, and we're not going to have time today to show you the video, but after this, you can all get this presentation through the Money Move site with Create and Cultivate. But we actually work with a very fantastic business owner. Michelle Kadori is the founder of Yes I Am clothing brand and Despot NYC boutique. She realized the strength of her online presence in this new environment because she literally had to close her physical doors, which she had just opened up prior to COVID for 6 months. And so we worked with Michelle to actually review her diagnostic results. So she took the test, And we actually worked with her and identified a customized suite of solutions for a digital doors makeover to really improve her business efficiencies and provide seamless digitization. And so in order to help her with her customer data management, Michelle received a year of Salesforce Essentials Management, which is available on our card. We also were able to help her streamline account reconciliation and foster greater inventory management with some Intuit training and a free program on QuickBooks. And then when we talked to Michelle, we really wanted to make sure that she had all of the cyber capabilities that she needed, because we wanted to make sure that Michelle's business, her employees, and her customers were protected against cyber threats. She received a free cybersecurity vulnerability assessment from Risk Recon and access to our ID theft protection, which, as I mentioned, is a monitoring service that continuously will look to give you alerts. So I think the important thing is that with COVID, many of you, many small business owners were really struggling to keep their business afloat, to figure out how to get open, to stay open. And as Mastercard, we're very proud to have built something like Digital Doors, which brings a lot of tools and solutions to the table to offer to all of you. Now, I'm not going to show this video because of time, but I do want to encourage all of you, when you pull down the website, to hear directly from Michelle. She just gave a great testimonial. We're very proud of Michelle because as many of you probably know from our recent Strivers campaign, you may have seen our Jennifer Hudson commercial. We are also very, very focused on helping Black-owned female small businesses, which Michelle is. And Michelle really felt that the digital makeover was just what she was looking for during this time, knowing that now she's going to be very well set beyond COVID, because we know that the important thing is to have everyone move out of COVID and come out on the other side very, very strong. And so I want to thank all of you for your time today. More importantly, I wanted to give a special thanks to all of you for the amazing hard work that you had to do during COVID. And we know that it was tough, but we hope that this will be the beginning of you coming out on the other side strong and thriving. And if we can provide some help with our partnership with Create and Cultivate in this amazing Money Moves Summit, our part by providing you help with a digital transformation through Digital Doors is really important. And I trust that all of you will be able to use some of the information you heard today. And I know we're not going to really have time for questions, but I encourage all of you to go to the Slack channel, and there's going to be people from our teams that will be monitoring that. So the Slack channel will be open beyond this, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. So with that, I do want to thank once again our tremendous partnership with Jacqueline Johnson and Create and Cultivate. We cherish you, we cherish our partnership. But most important, to all the small business owners out there, the world has your back. We care about you. We know how important you are. And we have a lot of hope that you're going to come out of this really, really strong. So with that, I wish you an excellent rest of your day and the program, which is, I know, going to be fantastic. And I look forward to seeing you again soon on another summit that we work on with Create and Cultivate. Thank you so much for your time.